A name that has marked its presence in the hearts of hundreds and thousands of chicken lovers doesn't need an introduction. Well, even if you don't have a love for chicken, the inspirational story of Colonel Sanders will beg you to know more about it. Well, this story is about a man who has been an excellent example of persistence, commitment, and determination. Today, we are going to talk about the founder of the most loved chicken brand in the world, KFC. And this is the success story of Colonel Harlan Sanders and how this fast food icon created an unlikely path to creating a multi-billion dollar international company. The story starts with Harlan Sanders, who was born in a small town of Indiana in the year 1890. At the age of 12, after his father passed away, he took the responsibilities on his shoulders and left home to find a job to support his father's second family. Later, his mom remarried when he was 12 years old. Because his new stepfather didn't like the boys around, Sanders' brothers were sent to live with them night while he was sent to work on a farm about 80 miles away. Sanders soon realized that he would rather work all day than go to school, so he dropped out in the seventh grade. Later, he started working at various places without a proper grade, in addition to his stint in Cuba with the army. Sanders spent the first half of his life doing a series of odd jobs, including stoking the steam engines exchange throughout the South, selling insurance, selling tires, making lighting systems, and operating a ferry boat. However, the only skill that he possessed was cooking that his mother had taught him from the age of 7. After trying his hand at many odd jobs, he couldn't stay at any place for long. Later, he became a cook and a dishwasher in a small town. Finally, in the year 1930, he settled into a permanent job at the Shell filling station just outside a small city called the North Harbor. In his free time, he used to cook dishes his mother had taught him and serve them in his studio house, which he had converted into a small eatery.
By the year 1937, he again expanded the hood, which now accommodated up to 150 people at the same time. He was extremely happy that he had become successful at his new business, but he was always looking for ways to improve his production process and expand his customer base. Later, in order to expand his food chains, he started traveling by car to different restaurants. He started cooking his fried chicken on the spot for restaurant owners. Sanders' recipe was rejected by 1009 restaurants as they did not like the taste, but Sanders never gave up. He knew that his recipe was one of a kind and unique. He went ahead with the same conviction as he used to have in finding a restaurant owner who would agree to sell his fried chicken. Soon, more restaurants were waiting to sell this new recipe of fried chicken in their restaurant. By 1963, nearly 600 restaurants were selling the recipe. After 4 years, Kentucky Fried Chicken was at the peak of its glory. But Sanders decided to sell the corporation to a private investor named John Y. Brown. Under the deal that he receives $2 million in cash and remains the official face of the company, for which he was paid about $250,000 every year. Sanders wasn't happy to let go of his business. Right at the age of 75, he decided that it would be best to see his company continue to grow beyond his capacity. Also, Sanders was never really worried about making money. He always focused on quality and customer experience than anything else. KFC implemented standalone stores, but specialized in the take home model. By the year 1967, KFC had gone on to become the sixth largest restaurant chain by sales volume in the US. Later, KFC started off by starting stores in Canada and soon spread itself into more than 40 countries with 3,000 outlets by the end of the year 1970. KFC changed many hands before it came under the ownership of Yum Brands in 1997. Soon, he added many more recipes into their menus, like desserts, sandwiches, and drinks that would complement his best-selling fried chicken recipes. By the year 1991, their sales had doubled and reached an estimate of $6.2 billion for a total of 8,500 outlets around the world. Well, that was just the beginning of the expansion for KFC, as there was no stopping to this ever growing company.
Don't click your fingers. That's what Kentucky Fried Chicken signaled to customers as the company suspended its finger-licking good tagline after 64 years, deeming it the most inappropriate slogan for 2020 amidst the coronavirus pandemic. The suspension affected the slogan's use in global advertising for a little while. The company's global chief marketing officer said, "We find ourselves in a unique situation having an iconic slogan that doesn't quite fit in the current environment." The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's coronavirus safety measures call for people to avoid touching their eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands to reduce exposure to the virus, and that is why the company had to take this step. However, the board did promise the fans that the slogan would be back when the time is right. After being recommissioned as a Kentucky Colonel in 1950, Sanders began to dress the part, growing a goatee and wearing a black frock coat, later switching to a white suit, a string tie, and referring to himself as Fred. Using a heavy wool suit in the winter and light cotton suit in the summer, he bleached his mustache and goatee to match his white hair. He never wore anything else in the public during the last 20 years of his life.
It has been advertised that KFC's original recipe has a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. But not many are aware that the recipe, along with some of the ingredients, are locked in a vault at the company's headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky. The secret recipe has never been patented because the company knows that patents expire, leaving their heavily guarded secret open to the public. In order to ensure the recipe remains secret, half is produced by Griffith Laboratories and then given to McCormick, who then add the remaining ingredients to the batch. Many have tried to decipher the ingredients by reverse engineering, but no one has been able to successfully match KFC's flavor. KFC, being one of the biggest food giants, promotes itself vigorously. The promotion mainly takes place through television ads, newspapers, magazines, and commercial holdings. With its introduction of the veg menu and the localization strategy, it is now catering to the left out segment, which will help in its brand building. KFC India marked the milestone of growing 600 restaurants strong with the hashtag KFC Bucket Canvas campaign. The campaign brought together young artists from across the country who together transformed the iconic KFC bucket. Today, everyone in India refers to instant noodles as Maggi. KFC also aims to achieve this in its market. KFC has tried implementing this through its new advertisement.
Talking about the major strengths, KFC enjoys the position as being the second best global fast food industry in terms of value, that is $6 billion. It holds a strong position in China and is the market leader when it comes to the company featuring chicken as its primary product offering. However, lack of strong marketing efforts, high employee turnover, and unhealthy food menu are a few things contributing towards its overall negative publicity. Yet KFC has been able to efficiently sustain in the market by working towards converting the major threat of unhealthy eating by introducing healthier options, thus going along the trend of the current society.
Despite his troubled relationship with KFC, Sanders continued to work for the company for the rest of his life. He continued to tour the country on KFC's behalf, and for the last 2 decades of his life was never seen in public wearing anything but his iconic white suit. In his later years, he also found religion and donated most of his wealth to charities, such as the Salvation Army. Sanders died of leukemia at the age of 90. It all started with one cook who created a finger licking good recipe more than 75 years ago. A list of secret herbs and spices scratched out on the back of the door to his kitchen. KFC has come a long way since. Today, there are 25,000 restaurants in over 145 countries and territories around the world. Sanders was born an innovator and founded KFC on values such as hard work, hospitality, and generosity that still live large in the KFC brand today. Thank you.